Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second session of our Substack Live series. And today's topic is, as we were just discussing, it's a very unique topic, and I don't know how we came to this topic, but I am very much looking forward to be talking about this topic, which is,
Hi everyone. I'll say the topic, but first, hi everyone. So the topic for today is how's the nature of inner work different for men and women? And yes, just like Ashutosh was saying, we came up at this topic in a very unplanned manner, as a lot of things which we do.
hmm,
But yes, we are really looking forward to discuss this topic because it's something which we both really resonate with, and we don't find a lot of discussions happening on the same because we have sort of generalized inner work, but we don't consider that how it's different for men and women. So yeah.
yeah. So before we talk about how it is different for man and woman, shall we talk
Mhm.
about what is actually inner work?
Yes, that's a good point to begin. So you say, what is inner work according to you?
What is inner work according to me? Hmm. So, uh, if you are, I think if you're using social media and all right now in this age, I think it's very evident for everyone that our thoughts create our reality.
Hmm.
And I don't even know like if it is evident for everyone, but I believe somewhere it should be. And for me, but it's very evident. It has been very evident from quite some time. And because my thoughts create my reality, so I think that is the most important thing for me. So whatever life I want to create,
Hmm.
if I work from the inside, that is first by changing my thoughts, my limiting beliefs, my limiting stories, my judgments,
Hmm.
and whatever ways I limit myself.
Hmm.
If I do the work there, then automatically I will expand. My being will expand, and that expansion will also happen in my external world because thoughts become things.
Yeah.
It's not a theory for me anymore. It has been a very real experience of my life.
Hmm.
And because I'm a very different person 5 6 years ago, but since the time I started this inner work, so many things have changed in my life. So many things, and mostly it has changed. Like internally, it has changed a lot. Even externally, so many things have changed. My lifestyle has changed completely. My eating habits have changed. My people, so many people in my life have changed. And yeah, my thoughts have changed and my state of being, the most important thing,
Hmm.
that has been changing continuously. And I feel that with each day, I am feeling more joyful. I am more aware of my thoughts, my emotions, and even when I feel sadness or any other emotion like jealousy, envy, I am more able to see them in a better way and find a.
So I have power cut in my area and suddenly. So you can hear my audio, and whenever the power is back, you can see me. But yes, keep going.
Okay, okay,
Ashutosh, you were saying some powerful words, huh?
okay. Then something.
Back.
Yes, yes. So I was talking about, my how what inner work means to me, not what it means to me, but how it has changed
Mhm,
my
mhm,
life. And I can think of that quote by Abraham Lincoln. He says that, "Give me 10 hours to chop a tree, and I will spend 6 hours sharpening the axe."
mm,
So for me, the way we live our life, mind is the tool from which we conduct our life.
mhm,
And with every tool, even if even if you buy a TV remote or an AC remote, and if you don't know the controls of it, like if plus button is to increase the volume or increase the temperature, if you don't know that, you will really struggle with
mm,
whether your AC remote. And
mm,
that's a very basic tool, and even that comes with a manual. But this mind,
yeah.
which is far more complex tool than a TV remote.
Mhm.
It doesn't come with a manual. Of course, like there are so many things out there, so many things that you can learn, so many books out there. And
Mhm.
so, like, it's been the philosophy of how to live life, or how the mind works. It has been there for thousands of years, but
Mhm.
it is still, I wouldn't say it's not taught in school, it's not taught in our family. So people, like, so many of us struggle with such basic things, which are like being happy, dealing with our emotions, and
Mhm.
even a normal conversation with our family members. Even that is not a very natural thing to happen. It happens with so many fights, so many triggers.
Yeah.
So, and it's because of our somewhere our inability to use our mind.
Okay.
And for me, that inner work is a way where I sharpen my mind, where I learn how to use it in a better way.
Okay.
So, and because again, for me, because it's more on working on the inner part, and
Mhm.
then the action part becomes very effortless for me. The whatever outside actions I have to take, or whatever results I get in my life, I I don't struggle a lot for them.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, this is I think my summary for inner work, and how it has resulted in changing of so many things in my life.
Cool. I'll have the similar answer. Like, what is inner work, and what impact does it carry in anyone's life? Uh, I, I like to see inner work as a ripple effect. That you begin at the source, even when you don't know where the source is. It's just
Mm-hmm.
that you begin, and
Hmm.
then you keep going deeper and deeper, just to get a better hang of your inner world. And then one thing after the other, like a domino fall, like a ripple effect, things start shifting. Having said that, I'm not saying that shift is pleasant always. Most of the times it's unpleasant only, but how you stay put with it, and uh, let it pass through you, I think that's where the impact of inner work gets magnified. So yeah, so inner work is all about just, whatever you are looking in the outer world, in the external world, you sit with yourself and you try to identify the point where that need, that desire, that wish, that challenge, whatever that is arising in the outer world. And almost all the time, it will, the source will always be in your inner world. I say
Yeah.
almost all the time because uh, sometimes it's very hard to figure the source of those things in the inner world.
Hmm.
So that is why it can appear that, okay, the source of this particular thing is here only, which is also in the outer world.
Yeah.
But no, like you sit with it and then you realize, oh my God, okay, this is something else altogether in my inner world.
Yeah. 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 And I wanted to add two things to it. And one is, I think, just the continuation of what you were saying.
Mhm.
So for me, so much, and it's for it's for everyone, not just for me, because otherwise it's not going to work.
Mhm.
Is that so much of inner work is about taking responsibility of your thoughts and emotions.
Yeah,
100, by responsibility I mean 100% responsibility. And
yeah.
there will be that you will fail to do that, and you will blame someone or a situation on the outside.
Mm.
But yeah, ultimately, the sooner you realize that I want to take the responsibility for my emotion, no matter what the situation is. It may seem like, oh, this is such a trivial situation, or this should be common sense.
Mm.
Even such situations, and like, you have to take responsibility of the emotion that you are in,
Mhm.
and that's your work. Of course, so many times you can uh, set better boundaries,
Mhm.
ask communicate your needs, communicate your feelings. But still, at the end, it's your responsibility, even to do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And second thing I want to add is that, so what happens that so many times,
Mhm,
it's like this. If you want to go from, let's say, if you want to go from Delhi to Jaipur,
mhm,
okay, you want to go from Delhi to Jaipur, that is your vision, that is your goal.
mhm,
But let's suppose you take a bus from Delhi
mhm,
and you go in the direction of Chandigarh,
mhm.
and then you go to Mohali, then you go come back to Sonipat, then you come back to Delhi, and then you start again, and you then go to Alwar, and maybe finally after a few days you reach to Jaipur.
Yeah.
So that's how so many times most people are, I think, taking action because
Mhm,
that's the vision or desire is to go in the direction of from Delhi to Jaipur, but thinking what they are thinking in their mind that is completely taking them in different directions,
mm.
and that is why it's very hard to reach where you want to reach.
Yeah. So many detours happen. And, one thing which I'll add here before we s- go on to the main topic
Hmm.
is that sometimes these, uh, detours are very important. If we just keep hoping that I can just get a direct route from wherever I want to go to, like from where I am and wherever I want to go, and if we keep waiting for that perfect route or that sort of clarity, then we will never begin. And many times those routes which we keep changing for arriving at the destination that we want to arrive at, it's like the blessings in disguise because it gives us that understanding that what all is really working for me and what all is not really working for me, or in other words, what do I really want and what do I not want. So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I think it's more about making this that process efficient
Mm,
rather than directly going. And yeah, like even if you are starting, even if you're starting
mhm,
somewhere, even if you're taking detours, somewhere your thinking is still more aligned. If
mhm.
versus if you're not starting at all.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. So that's what our views are regarding inner work. Now let me ask you,
Yes.
what do you think is the one of the major differences when it comes to inner work for men and inner work for women?
Mm-hmm. Uh, okay. For men, and I am just talking about it from my limiting POV.
Uh-huh.
What I feel is that for men, they are the physical part, physical part of movement
Hmm.
will always be a major part of the inner work, I would say.
Okay.
But it's if it's like so many people go to gym, so many people work out and on a daily basis,
Hmm.
but it doesn't necessarily mean that they are also working on their mental and emotional health. I believe, and it's not that just I believe, but I have seen it in on my own life that when I am physically more active,
Hmm.
I emotionally feel better,
Hmm.
and mentally also I feel better. I have better thoughts when I am physically more active.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that just working out and just going to the gym or going for a run will be enough.
Hmm.
And if you take a step further,
Hmm.
and I say this to most of my clients also, that you need to have at least two daily practices,
Hmm.
one for the mind, one for the body.
Hmm.
And this is minimum. You can have more, but I feel this is the at least you should have two practices, one for the mind, one for the body. And one for the mind means you can have meditation, journaling, or if there's something else. Uh, uh, there are so many healing modalities. So if there's something else which is, giving you leveling up your awareness level,
Mhm.
that works. And then again, one for the body, which can be again anything, which it's much better if it's something if you enjoy. It's if it's more like a sport if you enjoy, rather than uh, just going to the gym and finding it boring. It's better to play the sport. So it's the thing is, you have to stay the goal. So many times the why is very important, and the goal, like that there should be that awareness in the hindsight that I want to do this for a very long time.
Mm.
If I want to do this for a very long time, I want to stay consistent at it. And in order to stay consistent at things, it's necessary, I would say, to enjoy them. Maybe not always in the beginning. Like sometimes things can be very uncomfortable in the beginning. It takes some time for the mind to get used to them. But still, I feel that even when things are uncomfortable, you can still enjoy them.
Okay, so you are highlighting that in terms of difference, the difference lies in the aspect of it, which is like for men, it probably has more of the physical body movement and that sort of work, right?
Uh, yeah, like it's more connected to, as in, like this is just one layer of it. I think
Mm-hmm.
this is basic layer,
Mm-hmm.
because a form of physical movement. Because if we look at our evolution, how we have been evolving,
Mm-hmm.
uh, man used to do so much physical work, and I think even till 2000s there used to be so much physical work. But since the cars and bikes and all these things came, that it has significantly dropped. And having that routine, having that physical movement, and especially if it's in the morning, give man a form of discipline.
Okay, okay.
I think discipline, not for just man but for everyone, discipline is a major part of inner work.
Mm.
And when when you have that discipline, you will have the focus also. And
Yeah,
these
yeah.
masculine, what we say, masculine expects healthy masculine qualities. So in order to live a life of purpose and meaning,
Mm-hmm.
it's important to have discipline and focus.
Okay,
And
okay,
a physical movement can be an anchor to that discipline and focus.
okay, okay. Agreed. I mean, it's more like uh, the embodiment which one carries at any particular time of their life. Like for some, they are more in the masculinity, like their masculinity, regardless of the gender, right? Some are more in their femininity. So that is where I see the difference when it comes to men and women. Um, uh, by default, because women have some more proportion of feminine energy because
Hmm.
they're women, and men have more masculine. I'm not talking about the unbalanced stuff. A lot of us women, men, both have the unbalanced energies going on. But yes, regardless of that, the natural markup which I'm talking about, right? Because uh, if the natural markup is more inclined towards the feminine energy, let's say in women, then their inner work will automatically be more inclined towards things where the femininity is highlighted,
Hmm.
you know, in terms of receiving, in terms of a stillness, in terms of just being, not doing, in terms of just taking it very slow, not productive, all those terms. Whereas in terms of men, it will be more dependent on doing, right? Now that doing can again be explained on so many levels, but uh, just to sum it up, it's more about the activities which a man or a woman is partaking in to connect with themselves, because inner work begins with connecting with oneself. So that is where I see the main differences. even when someone has the disbalanced masculine and feminine energy in them, which most of us have, still there is a part which remains inclined towards the energy which is dominant in them. That is why I like, and it's very fascinating to observe as well. Like if like whenever I talk to people, be it clients or general talking to people, they will say that they are not they will present themselves as like I'll talk about women, okay, that they'll present themselves as, okay, they are very masculine, they're all about doing, they
Mm,
cannot just rest and all, they have a lot of responsibilities and all. But when you keep talking to them, they will start telling you that a part of them only craves for that stillness,
mm,
you know so even when that disbalance is there, a part of them is always calling back that, hey, I'm here, listen. So that is how it is also for men. Like they want more doing sort of activities when it comes to inner work, right? So yeah, so that is like a difference which I have commonly observed.
yeah, yeah, yeah. What I feel, and I don't know if it's true for all the men out there, but I feel that but not just some, but a lot of like if a man has a disciplined practice, and that can give him a lot of meaning,
Hmm.
even if like what there is no meaning in his work.
Hmm.
If in that particular scenario, and he's
Yeah.
working hard, but if there's no work, like no meaning in his life, no like whatever else is going out there,
Hmm.
there is no meaning in that. So just a disciplined practice or a particular physical goal can give man a lot of meaning. I have felt it for myself, that I would, and like you have used so many times that to set a physical goal where I would choose it as something which is hard for the mind, which is uncomfortable, where it helps me expand the limits of my mind. And so many times I've seen that it will lead to so like other areas of my life, to my work, in my action taking. For example, if I know that for this month I have to work hard, I have to take more action, then in that month I will be running more.
Hmm. That makes sense. Uh, it gets connected with discipline for either of the gender. Like, I mean, that is for everyone. Like discipline, the meaning of it can be changed for each person, but the essence of it still remains the same. Another difference, in the nature of inner work for men and women is like, according to me, and I'm not talking in terms of, is it healthy or unhealthy, but the way I have observed it is, for men, it is all about arriving at the destination, go, 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 go. And I'm not saying women don't have that, women also have that, but still, women can hold themselves at a given point that, okay, let's just take it slow, patience. They can for a while, even like, even it's just for a while, can detach themselves from that go, go, go. But for men, it is always oriented at that, like in like whatever I've experienced. Obviously, I'm not generalizing, but yes. And that hurry to arrive at a particular destination, as if there is ticking clock going on somewhere, you
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
that is just uh, another common, factor which highlights that how men find it so hard, or how they have not been exposed to this kind of uh, space where they can actually just be,
Yeah.
take rest, and don't take that pressure on themselves that even in the inner work they have to arrive at somewhere, so yeah, that go, go, go mentality, that is like one of the another major differences which I have observed.
Yeah. Two things coming to my mind. One is
Mm-hmm.
that I can think of one of my clients,
Mm-hmm.
and he used to tell me, like, yeah, I understand that, okay, this is whatever, when we are, especially when we are exploring something which is unknown.
Mm-hmm.
So, and only thing that you can do is trust the process, right? But
Okay.
the left brain, uh,
Mm.
it wants to find reason in that also.
Yeah, yeah.
So that fight was happening in his mind, and yeah, I think I had a conversation with him, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna help you in this until, because the part of this is, it will not become easier if you have a
Mm.
better rational mind here. It will be,
Mm.
if you connect more with your feminine energy and just let it go and trust.
Mm.
And the second thing is that's coming to my mind, that I have heard a lot of women, when they are not doing anything productive,
Mm.
when they're just, trying to be, rest, play,
Mm.
feel feel very guilty about it.
Mm.
But I think for men, that concept of just resting and doing nothing and be doesn't even exist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sadly, it's true. It doesn't exist, and that is why the journey of inner work is a bit more tricky for men because they have to chart the territories which have been very foreign to them.
Hmm. Yeah, vulnerability, crying, emotions.
Yeah,
Accepting your own mistake. Oh my god, all these things are very hard for men.
yeah. And then that is where the work is needed, I guess. And yes, okay. So just remembering the another difference. You know, an hour before our conversation only, I was having this brief chat with one of my friends, and she was highlighting how a woman's body goes through a lot of changes due to hormones as compared to a man's body. It's not that the hormonal changes are not there in a man, but in a women they are more frequent and they
Hmm.
are more sudden. So she was telling me that as a woman it becomes very important for us to be more in tune with our bodies because
Hmm.
of the extent of changes that we go through. So that is one of the main differences which I want to highlight, that when it comes to inner work for women, um, their body is not even their own friend at times.
Hmm.
So you cannot just keep going deeper and deeper into your being when three of the parts, body, mind, and soul, out of which body is not in your control at all. It feels like it is trying to just fight you, and stuff like that. So that's where the challenge becomes so tricky, that okay, firstly, we don't know how to talk to our bodies, we don't know how to tune into its intelligence, and now it's just creating chaos. So what is happening, it becomes very tricky to deal uh, for women. And I think for men the tricky part regarding body intelligence is still there, but because as you mentioned as the first difference, for some reason they are more dependent slash inclined towards their bodily movements, they still have somewhat better hang of their bodies, that okay, this is how it's happening. And yeah, I mean, this helps a lot, like when you can tap into that intelligence of body.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I feel that men are more. I think men, like, generally men have more better balance and better reflexes also. Uh, and yeah, because I think they move more, even in from the childhood also. Like, they play more sports. Yeah, but I feel like what I have a little slightly different perspective here.
Mhm.
The thing is that, because as women have to deal with so many changes in their body,
Mhm.
It's like a blessing in disguise that they don't have a choice,
Hmm. Yeah.
and they be more connected with their body. Like it's either it naturally happens,
Hmm.
or they have to learn to be more connected with their body. At least better than more connected in terms of more their mind can come, and their awareness can more in their body. What is happening in my body?
Hmm. Hmm.
While so many times men are so they can have, like, on the outlook they can have a better body or a stronger body, but their connection, their inner connection, their awareness within the body, I think it's very poor.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because first is, they again, whatever changes they are going through, uh, they are not going through as much changes as women are going through,
Hmm.
and they are taught to be more, more rational, more on the go, more action taking,
Hmm.
more when it comes to trying to solve problem intellectually all the time.
Hmm.
So they are far more disconnected from their own bodies, and they are more in their mind. And
Okay.
that is why I again feel that that's why this is one of the biggest reasons that inner work is more tricky for men. Because of such a major part of inner work is to tune into your own emotions, to feel your emotions, and the feeling, or like, if you have to feel, you have to come to your body.
Hmm.
And if you want to have a calm mind, you have to come to your breath, to your body.
Hmm.
And so many times I've seen that even with most of the men that I work with, they are just mostly always in their head, and they are doing good until if I'm when till the point I'm talking about belief system, till the point I'm talking about values, and other limiting stories, and till the time the work is happening in the mind, it's going good
Mhm.
for. They are like, wow, we are so this is so easy. And but they have to come at to the point where you have to come to the body, you have to come to, become more aware of the emotions,
Hmm.
and then they realize, okay,
Now the stuff begins, the real stuff.
yeah, yeah. Then that's when I tell them, yeah, now now the real work starts.
Oh, good point. Good point. It's like the more challenges you have in one aspect, the more you are compelled to dive deeper into it. So, since women have to go through a lot of bodily changes, hormonal changes, so they are basically just forced by nature to
Yeah,
be more in tune with their bodies. And when, like some women, when they don't follow this path of getting tuned with their bodies, the suffering then takes another form, right? But yes, I mean that is a very good point, that the more challenges you are given in one aspect, that
yeah,
is exactly where the major evolution for you is.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's like every challenge is a blessing in disguise, and it's true for me. Like, for if I talk about my journey, so when I was in my engineering, I was diagnosed with incurable autoimmune disorder, and I used to have this very unbearable amount of back pain.
Mhm.
Uh, and I was very left brain person and very much in my thinking always. And I used to, always question everything, but only from a very intellectual point of view, and disregard everything where there was talk of something which was either something which I was not aware of, like I did not have much knowledge about, or if it was about something which I logically couldn't understand.
Mm.
So I
Mm.
used to regard all those things, and I was very left brain, and again that I was going through that unbearable back pain, and it's because of that only that I had no choice but to, you know, understand what was going on, and then later, after a lot of struggle, it turned out that it was just suppressed and repressed emotions.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had to learn. I was forced by the universe, God, to work on it. And I think that was also for me the opening, my getaway, my gateway to the inner work, to this inner journey. And yeah, but the point that you were making, uh, if something is challenging, there is some blessing in disguise.
Yeah, one thing which you mentioned, it also tells us that you said that you had no choice, so you
Hmm.
have to look inwards and work on your emotions, and that's how your autoimmune disorder got cured, right?
Yeah.
This is a very important segment here. You said you had no choice, right? The point is, life has its way to teach us the lessons which we are meant to learn. We
Hmm.
keep arriving at these dead ends where we feel like we are victim, we are helpless, we don't have any choice, right? And I'll say that here also lies a very big difference between people who actually take the responsibility of that mindset of helplessness and do something about it, and then the another segment of people who literally go like, yes, I indeed am helpless, so I'll be like this, right? So that responsibility thing, that is again a very major differentiation here. And in again, in terms of men and women, I feel that whenever such dead ends are presented in our life, women have more curiosity to explore the unconventional ways to resolve that mindset as compared to men. Men don't have that kind of openness or willingness to go for the methods, techniques, modalities which don't appeal to their left brain, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that is the another difference, that how open you are as men or women to go for the ways which don't exactly appeal to your logic and rationality, but still you choose to give them a honest try.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, because I think, yeah, it's hard for men because they are already so far
Mm,
from their right brain, from their intuition also,
mm,
because they are so disconnected with their bodies. And it is often talked, that women are so much better with intuition naturally, with the, even without doing any inner work. They are so good with their intuition. And if they are meeting a guy on a date, they
not just date, even even in the conversations that lead to that date, they can just guess, or
yeah.
not guess, they can just figure it out that okay, is this going in the direction where she wants to go to or not? Yeah, that is there. And then it's evolution, like why women have that kind of intuition, that kind of sixth sense, because of the evolution. But yes, that is the thing. When you are gifted with something which you are good at,
Hmm.
the level of suppression, if you start suppressing it, no, then
Hmm.
the conflict which that suppressed thing creates is way worse. Like, to give you an example, let's say you know that you are good at singing, okay, and but for some reason you keep suppressing this skill of yours, right?
Hmm.
And and then and then also, because that's how life is, what you suppress comes in your way again and again. And then you just find people singing well, or people encouraging you to sing and all, but no, you are not singing. And then some part of you is like, you can do this, but why are you not doing it? The other part is like, no, I cannot do it for whatever reason. So that level of conflict will be so much in you because you carry that natural ability in you. So when you try to suppress it, the other part which is trying to suppress it will fight it a lot. And that inner conflict can be just disastrous in so many levels, health wise, relationship wise, mental peace, lot of things. So that's where I feel like women, especially who have shut down their intuition, right? They go through a lot of inner conflict in this way, where after a point they stop recognizing themselves, that who am I? Like, what am I doing?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, that can happen. I know where you are coming from.
You
Yeah,
know, I know, you know.
yeah. Out of
Yes,
what she's sharing, I know it's true because she's sharing so much from her personal experience.
yeah. So that's how, okay, so just to give a little bit context to the listeners, that's how I used to be. Like, I was not there was a time in first 10 to 15 years of my life where I was so much attuned with my intuition that I now have memories of things like, okay, that was like just next level intuition and all. But then, yes, it started getting suppressed thanks to conditioning. And so then, when when it got suppressed, I went to a level where I was so far away from my intuition. So yeah, so it's like I have seen the both extremes of it. So now I know where the middle ground for me is, and
Hmm.
that is why I can just relate so much with that level of inner conflict that you really go through not just one but a series of identity crises when that happens.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. What I'm feeling, like as we are discussing all the challenges and
Mm-hmm,
how in our work is different for men and women, and what's coming to me is that if we first talk about man,
mm-hmm,
and if inner work can be easy for man, of course first they have to understand the importance of it, why they want to do it,
mm-hmm,
and then second is the only way I think they can make it easy, not even easy in their mind,
yeah,
to understand that body is the answer, that
mm-hmm,
there's so much intelligence in the body, and if they are more in tune with their body, if their awareness is more in their body
mm-hmm,
rather than their mind, first so many things will change, because so many things change when your awareness uh, goes from your mind to your body, comes from your mind to your body. First is your overthinking reduces, because every person in this world is addicted to only one thing, and that is thinking. So we are unnecessarily thinking all the time, and I think more than 95% of the thoughts that we think are just repeated thought patterns. They are repeated thought patterns, and they are, so if you just look at them and start analyzing them, will know that how stupid they are.
mm-hmm, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and so if so much of the think is unnecessary, why to think so much? So like the way to be someone who is more aware, who is more happier, who is more joyful. I think the best example of joyful beings are children.
yeah, yeah,
We can just observe and see the basics from them, learn the basics from them.
mm-hmm,
Uh, i- this inner work can become so easy. And why? This is the conversation with I was having with one of my clients, and he was telling me that Ashur, it's so hard for me to find the happiness within, because I have been programmed so hard to find it outside. So I'm always looking for something on the outside, like it's maybe a new car, a better job opportunity, or something else on the outside. And my mind is just not able to accept that happiness can be within. And
mm-hmm,
he's just asking for why it's so hard to find happiness within and all. And then we just our conversation drifted to talking about children, and that how happiness is so effortless for them, how being joyful is so effortless for them. And I told him, because the for children, because they are not trying to rationalize happiness, they are just happy.
Yeah, they are not keeping it as some destination to arrive at. They just know it's there, so they live it every moment.
Yeah, yeah, it's in their being, and because till that point the mind has not evolved that much, the brain has not developed that much, and your the thoughts are also less. I think the children have less thoughts, so that part of what we say, this prefrontal cortex is not developed fully.
Mm,
So there is of course less thinking,
mm,
and of course so many things that we are going with, which are going in our mind.
mm,
It's not that they come from within, they are put from the outside, and then we keep on, carrying them. It's like a you buy a new phone
mm,
and you install so many apps in it,
mm,
but they are all unnecessary apps which just are making no use of that phone, which is which is, it's like that only. It's the mind. You fill it with so many unnecessary programs and
mm.
give
Okay.
effective.
So okay, this is like the whole challenge thing, and I'm sure like there exist multiple sub challenges also when it comes to the nature of difference, like in the inner work. So like we have like what 15 minutes left. So let's now talk about the solutions.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say let's first talk about men, their inner work. Okay. Uh, what do you think can be the beginning point for a man who wants to walk on this journey of inner work and who is coming from a place where he has no or little idea about what this whole world of inner work is?
Hmm. Okay. So someone who is starting from the beginning.
Uh, uh, your voice.
Can you hear me now?
Huh. No, go
Yeah.
on.
So someone who is starting from the very beginning, of course, it will be, if someone comes to me and asks me this question, and I'll have more questions to ask them and bring them more awareness. And I so many times I don't believe in a generalized solution.
Mm,
But again, it's more about, I think, small things.
okay. Give me
It's
top three.
yeah,
Top
it's
three.
huh.
Give me top three small things which you believe anyone and let's particularly talk about men first, that
Hmm.
any men can start incorporating in their life and start their inner work journey.
Yeah. So for me, I would say that why I say small things is, first, start doing things, and doesn't matter how trivial they are, or doesn't matter if they will give you results or not. You have to let go of the result part,
Hmm.
and you have
Okay.
to learn things which you want to learn from a long time and you have been procrastinating,
Okay.
and things which will bring you joy. So
Hmm.
it doesn't have necessarily have to start with journaling, meditation.
Hmm.
It can maybe start from learning a music instrument.
Hmm.
It can start from playing a sport,
Hmm.
starting to play a sport. It can start from just drawing, sketching.
Hmm.
It can start from dance classes. It can start from, I think, basically anything which you have been putting on hold
Hmm.
from a long time, but you have been wanting somewhere, like, things you have been procrastinating, things you want to learn, things your soul is calling you for, because that it keeps coming back. That subtle, small, gentle voice keeps telling you.
Hmm.
So I think it's just these small things, because that's how I think I what I did in my journey, which
Okay.
yeah, which resulted in so many changes in my life.
Got it. Okay, so you are highlighting that uh, as the inner work has been advertised, that
Hmm.
it's all about meditation, journaling, body movement, and all. Just ditch all of that when you are beginning and just begin with your little joys. whatever they can be.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Perfect.
recommend.
Yeah. So, I'll add it's more about beginning from where you are instead of trying to begin at some place else altogether. That whatever, and I think it can be as simple as ensuring that you hydrate yourself properly in a day,
Hmm.
or you take 5-minute walks
Hmm.
throughout your meetings, or you ensure that you are spending a few moments in sun or
Hmm.
going out in the nature. So yeah, so these can be anything. Okay. And
Yeah.
so you are necessarily saying that these things are for both men and women. There is nothing specific which you would like to highlight when it comes to men?
Hmm.
Question mark.
Yeah. So I wouldn't like to specify something, but I would like to specify that uh, if men or even women
Mhm.
can let go of their limiting beliefs or perspective they have about certain things, if you haven't done, you don't know how it's going to be, or you need to do it for some period of time to see the results.
Mm,
Otherwise, everyone would be doing it, and everyone would be living a very, very happy, joyful, peaceful life, and we wouldn't be even talking about this.
mm,
So, beginning the journey of inner work and building that consistency in different practices, whether it's journaling, meditation, even just
mm,
going for a walk, it's not
mhm,
easy.
mm,
And so many times it's not easy because there can be any kind of limiting belief
mhm,
to that particular thing. Let me give you one example. So I was talking to one this person, and he was my junior in college, and it's a long, I think it was around 3 years, 2 3 years ago.
mm,
And I was suggesting him to start journaling,
mm.
and he said something like but journaling is for girls, right?
Okay. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I told him it's not for girls, and like now, if I have to, I have to. If he says, if someone comes to me and says me the same thing, what I will respond to them is that if you know about the book Meditations, which is
Mm,
just journal entries of the one of the greatest Roman emperor, Marcus Aurelius. It's basically his journals, and yeah, not just he was a man, he was a ruler, he was a king, and he was journaling. So, how manly can it be if a king is journaling?
lovely. Yes. I mean, great response. So I'll also use the same one. Although I have not come across anyone who has
Hmm.
used gender in journaling, but yes, I mean, good response.
Yeah, and again, for meditation, also, so many people have a lot of limiting beliefs. That one of them is very common, which is that I started meditation and I am having so many thoughts. So and I shouldn't have thoughts.
I know, I know.
Yeah. So yeah, in the beginning, it's also important to maybe take some guidance, take some help, and if you are starting meditation or anything, it's easy. Like it's always important to make it easy. If it's not easy for you, make it easy. Either you understand the why of it, you do some research about it. There is already enough information available on YouTube or other sources. So either do some research, or maybe use some app, or maybe do some course.
Yeah,
Yeah, so make it easy. I would say, do like, give this a general recommendation. Work on making it easy. Whatever you want to do, work on making it easy.
great. I'll add one point here that to begin any form of inner work, be it a man or a woman, um, you don't have to really wait for that right timing. I know I'm saying it like easier said than done. but there is no right timing ever. The priorities keep increasing in life, the complexities keep increasing in life due to responsibilities of the human world which we are in. So you don't necessarily have to just keep waiting for that time where you feel like, okay, then I'll be free of XYZ and
Hmm.
I'll be able to invest more of my time in there. Because you know what I have also observed is that one of the major inhibitions for people when it comes to beginning their inner work is they feel like it will affect their day to day life because they are now moving in a direction while doing their inner work which will lead to a lot of disturbance in their life.
Hmm.
Like one of my friends, uh, like she has this inhibition that if I start working towards it, right, if I start dedicatedly, because I suggested her that work with a therapist or a coach or whoever uh, suits you. And then she was like, but then I will become too much introspective and I'll be just, in my head all the time because I'm sure they'll be giving me activities where I have to observe myself a lot or just to be in awareness of whatever is happening and all. And I'm sure the sessions will not be very pleasant because this is only why I'm going to them, right? That to talk about the stuff which has been very triggering or uncomfortable for me, so then it will spill over in different areas of my life and it will just.
Yeah.
And
Loud.
I'm like
Did a lot.
I I was like that I used to think like this 2 years back, like
Hmm.
why I delayed for a long time going to a professional and working with them one on one, because I was under the same impression that if I go to them, I'll then start opening that Pandora box
Hmm.
and it will just make my life hell.
Hmm.
So, on my very first call with the professional I seek help from, I told them the same inhibition of mine, and they ensured me that Ashi, if I'm working with you, my job is not to just, you know, lead you towards the unpleasantness in your life.
Yeah.
I'll be there to help you do it in a way such that your life doesn't get affected.
Hmm.
And that for me was such a huge assurance that I was like, okay, yes, let's do it now. And I did it. And obviously, like one thing after the other, since then, I have been working with different sort of professionals depending on the need I have. But yes, like this is one of the things which I want to highlight. Whoever is thinking to begin their inner work, that you don't have to take it as a can of worms, that you'll open it and then it will be everywhere in your life. Take it as an exploration where you are going along with a guide, and that guide will tell you that if a river is like, they'll tell you if the space is slippery, that you have to walk slow, they'll guide you. If they'll also tell you to look at this mountain here because it's pretty and you are not looking at it. So
Yeah.
all of these things will happen. You just have to find that one person to guide you, whoever that is, therapist, coach, counselor, or the different professions we have. Just find that person, find that alignment with them, and start walking that path, because it
Hmm.
is not a can of worms, it is just a magical experience in the end.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's like going on a track with a
Yeah,
guide.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
It's like going on a track with a guide, and it may seem daunting in the beginning, but again, we can. It's there's no time limit.
Mm,
You are the master of your own journey here,
yeah,
and you can go like at your own pace. One, this is very important. You can go at your own pace. Uh, you can choose the track of your difficulty,
yeah,
and you can like choose the guide also according to what who resonates with you. But
absolutely.
yeah, but the important thing is again, yeah, the view at the top is gonna be beautiful as well. But ultimately, it's all about the journey.
Yeah, because once you are at the top, then you feel like, now what? Then you look at, okay, there are more mountains to climb on.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Wonderful. Go
uh,
on, go on, go
yeah,
on. You were saying.
important that we talked about these misconceptions that people have
Mm-hmm.
regarding maybe inner work, regarding working with professional, regarding journaling, regarding a particular practice. And maybe we should do a big article or a post on all these misconceptions because there are so many. But uh, as you pointed out, yeah, don't wait.
Which
Uh,
reminds me, do tell about the retreat which you are hosting. It's just a perfect timing.
okay. I totally forgot about it. But yeah, if you are a man and you are somewhere looking to start your inner work journey and you are looking for a safe place, we are doing a 7 day retreat, only man. And there is going to be a lot of things there, like the lot of practices which are ice baths, trauma release, breath work, conscious movement, journaling, meditation, breathing practices, tai chi, etc. And there are also we'll also exploring topics such as decision making, inner child healing, bringing the balance between your masculine and feminine energies, and yeah, discipline, consistency. There is a lot of things, but I think it's more the most important thing is that who you will become after uh, the beingness that you will have, the person you will become, how differently you will start to see the world. That is the most important part. And of course, it's a 7 day retreat. It's not for everyone. It's not for men who are looking for still looking for excuses. It's not for men who are like, oh, I cannot take 1 week off. And I understand we will have maybe something different for you, but this retreat is for men who are actually committed to exploring this journey, who just want to do just go, who are ready and who are, in their truest sense an explorer and adventurer.
Awesome. I have already talked a lot about this retreat with you, so I don't know, like I'm sure what kind of a wonderful adventure it's gonna be for every man who is attending. And you didn't mention the dates.
Oh, oh, thanks for reminding me. Oh, the retreat is happening in February, from 15 to 21st. And if you're interested, you can reach out to me on Substack, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, or on WhatsApp. If you reach out to me on LinkedIn or Instagram, there my number is shared there, so you can directly ping me on WhatsApp.
Awesome. All the men who are listening to this. And I'll just say that just talk to Ashutosh about the retreat. He is not looking for an affirmative answer only. He would be more than happy to talk to you about this thing. Just get to know what this whole deal is about, and just try to go for that unconventionality which you may be postponing since long. Uh, because I can say from my experience, when I started working on my inner world, things have started shifting like I have never imagined. Ashutosh has healed his autoimmune disorders. He has created this life for himself, which he's so proud of. He finds joy in every moment. So things like these are not just for the sake of it, or not just that we talk about these things because they look good or appealing to talk about. It's because we have been living it in our own ways, and we just know that the kind of transformations they can bring. So yeah, go for
Yeah.
it. Just talk to Ashutosh.
Yes. If you are frustrated, if you feel like, oh my God, what's happening? I can't deal with the pace of the world. I don't want to be productive. I don't want to, be part of this rat race. Yeah, you can join this retreat, and so many things can change in your life. Also, if you cannot join this retreat, you don't have time for it. you can still reach out to me and I can help you get started with your inner work. And I also want to share about something special that Ashi is doing on 26th January.
Go
Yeah,
on.
on self care. I sent it to one of my friends, and she told me that she's not in India right now, but she told me that if I was in India, I would have attended it for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, now I would like to. I will ask Ashi to share a little bit about the workshop.
So, okay, guys, I'm facilitating this workshop, and it's only for 10 people. I'm keeping the cap at 10. It's called 3 Hours for Self. That's the name of the workshop. It's happening on 26th January in Jaipur, Rajasthan. If you are in Jaipur or around Jaipur, you can travel to Jaipur. Do come. You're most welcome. The idea, okay, so I'll tell you, like, I got the idea of this retreat in a meditation 2 days back, and I just acted on it. You know, it was more like the workshop was shown to me, the whole flow of it. And when I was done meditating, I just start journaling, and I just filled the pages, and I just knew that it it is gonna happen. So yes, and in just 5 days. So Ashutosh was asking me yesterday that why haven't you kept it a little bit in the future so that you can have time in between? And I'm like, that is what came to me 26th Jan. So that's when we are doing it. And as the name suggests, 3 hours for self, it is simply a workshop where I'll help you understand who self is. So we talk a lot about self care. Ashutosh and I are also talking about working on self. But how can you work on something which you don't understand or you have not experienced yet? So I'll help you understand, experience that self in those 3 hours, and not at just individual level. We'll do this exploration on 3 levels: first individual, then communal, and then cosmical. So we'll zoom out and then we'll zoom back in. So you will know the 3 levels you are going on and then how you can embody it while coming back to your individual self. We'll use a lot of practice, different practice, and these are the practice which I have never shared in any of my workshops or events before, because these are the practice which I'm so blessed to learn due to my challenges of last 1 year. So yeah, I'll be honored to help you experience the self. So if you are in Jaipur, around Jaipur on 26th January, do come join us. For more details, contact me on Substack, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. Yeah, I'll be happy to answer your queries.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. And yeah, I think that's it for today's live. And yeah, so if you are not subscribed to our channels, do subscribe to Hey Motion and at the rate Inside Out Game. And we'll see you on Friday, 6 p.m. And we'll talking about the topic.
The different ways in which we hold ourselves back from receiving.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very, very important topic. And almost every person I meet, including myself,
Me too. Me too.
struggle with receiving. And
Before winding up, like we forgot. Sorry, who are listening to us live. If you guys have anything to add before we wind up, any question, any thought to add, please go on. We just forgot to ask you in our blabbering. Sorry for that. So
yeah,
please let us know
yeah, I
before
think
we wind up.
Raj just messaged, great session. I think he might be online, and I don't know about others.
Thank you,
So
Swaraj.
yeah, thank you so much, Swaraj. And yeah, you can go ahead if you have any question, please ask. Mississippi, one, two. Uh, uh, we are done for
Mm.
today, and Oh,
Okay. How to
Raj,
start journaling?
start journaling.
Go on, Ashutosh.
Okay, so my simplest answer is just start. Uh, don't wait. Again, don't wait for. See, journaling initially is going to be hard. You don't have to worry about what to write. The only agenda, the only goal that you have is just to fill that one page or two page, whatever you want to write. Just show up. So many times we get lost in our thoughts that what to write, and that's why we are not able to do it. You can write about a day, you can write about how you're feeling, you can be grateful for something. There are so many things to write about, and this thought that I don't know what to write is very, very untrue in nature. Because if you wait, there are so many things to write. Because if your thinking can stop, then that means that you don't have anything to write. But thinking never stops. Thoughts keep on coming and going. It's just the initial discomfort of starting any practice. So overcome that. You can, to make it easy, you can make a goal of 30 days. You can make a goal of filling one diary. And yeah, get a nice journal, get a nice pen, go to stationery, feel that joy that you used to have when you were a child, when you used to buy books and pens. And yeah, just get one schedule. You can also, you know, fix the timings either in the morning or during the night. That was the best to build any practice. Yeah, that's the only thing I would suggest. And just start. If you do it for 3 weeks, then you can look up on maybe YouTube or watch couple of videos to get more tips on how to journal. Yeah, but you can still look up if you feel like I don't know where to start. Still, this is not helping you. Whatever I've shared with you, you can still go and look up and find something which will help you.
Cool. I'll add a few pointers here. Number one, you don't have to wait for
Yeah,
the clarity to write anything. You can write about your cluelessness itself. So I have a lot of journal entries which simply begin with, I have just opened this paper and I don't know what to write on it, but I want to write on it and I'm just thinking what to write on it. That kind of gibberish
yeah,
for, but that is like the wonderful way to begin. Just
yeah,
just keep writing
yeah. And
whatever is coming.
I do the same so many times. I keep writing
And
what else, what else.
yeah, exactly. And it doesn't matter you have to do it in English. You can do it in any language you are comfortable with. And secondly, you don't have to necessarily begin with a pen and paper. You can, if you are more comfortable, you can begin with digital journal as well.
Yes.
Because while we are beginning, our main objective is to keep the resistance as low as possible. So if pen and paper is not very much comforting thing for you, you can go for the digital one. And lastly, about the frequency thing. Okay, before the frequency, and it's not necessary that you have to fill the whole page when you are beginning. You can just begin with, I am gonna write 2 lines. That's it. Write 2 lines daily for 7 days. And then, if you are really consistent with it, by fourth, fifth day, you will realize you are automatically writing more and more. So that's good. And yes, lastly, about the frequency, it's important to stick with something while we are beginning at it. So just set a reminder on your phone, one particular time, be it AM, PM, whatever, that journal. And literally, when that alarm rings, just start journaling. And don't go for like those big things of, people have the guided journaling prompts and all. If they help you, go for it, but I have found that for many beginners they can be overwhelming, the prompts. So don't
Hmm.
go for them. Just write about your cluelessness, that
Yeah.
maybe just write about what you did throughout, that I woke up at 7 a.m., then I did this and that, like the essays, or like, that stuff which we used to
Hmm.
write in childhood.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I always recommend to not buy journal online and go to a stationery shop. But it's your choice. You can do anything you want. Just start, just write.
Awesome. Yes, just right.
Yeah. Okay, guys, that's it for today's session. Thank you so much for joining, and see you on Friday, 6 p.m.
Bye bye, guys. See you.